Hello everybody and welcome back to the Library of Ruina. Alrighty, it's time that we do a modded collection. So, this modded collection is going to scale from Canard difficulty all the way up to, I believe, Star of the City. It might go a little bit higher than that, but I'm gonna attempt to be as fair as possible, you know, without remaking my builds and stuff, because I just kind of don't want to do that. I spent a long time on these builds. But we are going to begin with the Norinco Workshop, and we are also only going to bring Sam. we're gonna see how this goes. If Sam solo isn't enough, then we will bring one more person, but we'll see. Cassandra Workshop Idolatry. When staggered, recover from stagger and recover half of max stagger resist at a 50% chance once per scene. That seems like it could be really, really powerful, actually. Desperation. If a combat page this character used is exhausted, gain 1 strength next scene. And knock of a grade 9 fixer. Chance to boost blunt power by +1. Double Shaking Gambit. On clash win, deal 2 damage to target. On clash lose, deal 2 stagger damage to self and exhaust this page. Also, Cat Face. Improvised Deterrence. On clash lose, exhaust a random page in hand. Making Do. If there are no dice left on this page, exhaust it at the end of the scene. On clash lose, remove this die for the rest of the act. And on clash lose, remove this die for the rest of the act. Buy a Thread. On clash win, deal 1 damage to self, and on clash lose, exhaust this page. Straining Onslaught. Single use, start of clash, deal 5 damage to self. All dice on this page gain +2 power. And Last Ditch Effort. Single use, dice on this page deal no physical damage. On use, stagger self at the end of the scene, 4 to 20 damage. On hit, deal damage equal to half of user's current stagger resist. And then there is also 2 normal dudes. They have Desperation and Slash of a grade 9 fixer, as well as all of the same pages. For a well-paying job, this doesn't seem too hard. It's make or break here. I'll be fine without a bit of maintenance on this weapon. Probably. Alright then, here we go. We can't put stickers on ourselves, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. Now, another thing, this mod is a work in progress. That's what the Steam page says. It does seem like it's been a while since it's actually gotten an update, but hey, it's a work in progress. Now, let's see. What are we up against? Technically, if we just go Angel's Light, that should basically win us a clash. And then have this will be another easy win. We do use up all of our light pretty much immediately, but it should be fine, especially because we're exhausting some of their pages. And then we also have a Decay Amp you'll put on one of them, which is going to do a tiny bit of damage. Laughing Powder, because we never want to get staggered as long as we possibly live. Let's see. Well, I'm gonna do Decay Ampule, because it's pretty much guaranteed to land. Then, I'm gonna do How It's Done, because that's pretty much guaranteed to land. There we go, some damage being done. How It's Done is gonna make it so you never get to use that page again, and the Decay Ampules are pretty much gonna finish you off. Oops, sorry about that. We're gonna go for Elation for an extra +1 dice power. Why not? We deserve a little bit of a treat, wouldn't you agree? I'm gonna go for Angel's Light to block that, and then we can go for Have This, and that should win both of those clashes, no problem. Okay, we do get through most of that. Have This is also going to get us a stagger. He isn't finished off by our Decay Ampule, actually, but we can go for Autumn's Passing, mainly because it's funny. And then we can go Fragments of Somewhere. So I think this is basically the most fair way I could have done this reception. Because so far, it seems like it's you know, going decently well. They're not doing damage to us, but we are actually having to think about our clashes. Now, that being said, we have basically won the fight now. But still. Dave! Well, he better not have a gas mask. Also, we are forced to use our general floor, so we're just taking the book hunter, and we're going to see how that goes. So, double endured, weak to blunt. Fair play. The emotion level of all librarians cannot go above emotion level 2. Oh, okay. Whenever this character uses a combat page, gain 2 haste next scene. Upon a successful hit, lose 1 haste next scene. Running in the 90s. Me and the boys. When this character HP drops below 75%, 2 Norinco greenhorns hop out from the back of the truck. HP does not drop below 75% before this happens. When this character's HP drops below 50%, 2 Amanita junkies hop out from the back of the truck. HP does not drop below 50% before this happens. Overdrive shift. When HP drops below 25%, nullify all damage for the rest of the scene and shift into top gear at the start of the next scene. Top gear. This character cannot take stagger damage, speed dice slot +2, max light capacity +1, dice power +2, restore 2 light, and draw 2 pages and gain 3 haste each scene. Backing up! On clash lose, purge 1 haste next scene. Flooring it! On use, gain 2 haste next scene, and on hit, inflict 1 thunderstruck, which is, for the duration of the scene, all dice played by this character gain a X times 10% chance to lose 2 power. Can be stacked up to 10, which would pretty much mean it is guaranteed. Neutral gear cannot be used at 6+ speed. Inflict some thunderstruck. Let's see. Second gear can only be used at 6+ speed. Inflict thunderstruck, and on clash lose purge 1 haste next scene. And third gear can only be used at 7+ speed. On hit, inflict 2 thunderstruck. On clash lose, purge 1 haste next scene. Fourth gear can only be used at 8+ speed. Inflict 2 thunderstruck and inflict 1 thunderstruck. And the final gear can only be used at 10+ speed. On hit, inflict 2 thunderstruck up to twice, and on clash lose, purge 2 haste next scene. And then these guys don't seem too terribly strong. I could stop anytime. On use, spend 1 stored chems to add 1 random chem to hand. I need it now! On use, spend 3 stored chem to add 2 random chems to hand. On hit, gain 1. Addicted Mind. On use, discard a chem with the lowest cost. On clash win, gain 1 stored chems. Boost next die's max value by +3. Outburst. On use, discard a page with the lowest cost and restore 2 light. And this is how you do it. Okay. On use, discard a chem with the highest cost. If Home Run was discarded this way, do not become staggered at the end of the scene due to its effect, and boost the max value of all dice on this page by +2. Well then, shall we begin? Also, I'm pretty sure Dave is supposed to be a car. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Okay, we're instantly going to gain a ton of fragments, and because we hit so hard, as well as doing a mass attack, we are pretty much fine. We also get absolutely ran over from the looks of things. I'm really tempted to do Curiosity. Let's go Urging because we're solo. And it will also put, I can't think of the word. What? It is completely eluding me. It will offset, there we go, the Thunderstruck debuff. Now we're going to go for Memories of a Star as well as Knowledge Acquisition. He cannot go below 75 before spawning his dude, so we don't really have to worry about that. I'm going to go, we already have the Lies effect, so I'm going to reroll. And we're going to go for Scars. Okay, 2 more people popped out of the invisible car. So, I'm pretty sure we can take them down. We gained the knowledge of the crying children, so I'm immediately going to be using that. And then we're going to go for the power of knowing, which is also going to give us an evade dice, which should be really, really good. 42 damage being done because Philip is fair. Okay, and then we also do get a stagger. Pretty good stuff. Now, we were afflicted with a little bit of Thunderstruck, so there is a chance that we lose some power, but I'm going to go for Power of Knowing, and then we could go Memories of a Star, which will hopefully give us a stagger and allow us to get him to his next phase. Yep, it looks like he immediately went to it, and we also take out his guy, so we're not going to be too terribly overwhelmed in terms of people. Danding! We're not able to use this, so unfortunately this is a dead knowledge page. You know, I'm noticing the Danding knowledge page is really, really common, and it's not good. It's really not good, so I don't know if there's a way to just remove Danding from the pool. There probably is, but you probably have to, like, dig in the files and stuff, and I would rather not do that and mess up the entire mod. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna pretend we didn't get a knowledge page and go for knowledge overflow, which is gonna allow us to take out one of his junkies from the truck. And then we also do get a stagger on the other junkies, so we don't really have to worry about him. But as soon as we take out his buddy here, he is gonna swap into maximum overdrive, which is gonna allow him to gain a bunch of power. Okay, we are allowed to do a little bit of damage to him. Obviously, we don't do too much, but here we go. He has 8 haste, and he's now in his final phase. And he's also using the final gear. We can use the knowledge of Naimon, and that should go relatively well. And then I'm going to go knowledge acquisition. Not that we can actually block it. We're going to see what happens. We do manage to get a triple dodge before going for a very powerful Naimon hit. Though it didn't actually look like it did any damage because his health bar is so far above us that it's kind of hard to tell. I'm going to go for the 1-cost Memories of a Star because I really doubt that he can block it. And then we're going to go for a second Memories of a Star, and that should be game. Oh, wait a minute. You couldn't go below... We got a second Danding? Okay, see what I mean about Danding being really, really common? Way too common, honestly. Oh well, what are you gonna do? I didn't imagine that we were gonna finish this with the cube anyway, but still, getting 2 Dandings is just so unfortunate. Now, we're not actually able to do any damage to the car yet. Top gear. Oh, I see. Now he's in maximum overdrive mode. Okay. Well, unfortunately for him, we have the knowledge of Esther, which means, unfortunately, you done. And the car ends up crashing. By the way, I don't know if something was broken with his skin or what, but I'm 90% sure he was supposed to be a car. Next up is Way Western, Section 3. Let's see, 88 health, 50 stagger, your shield, we already know what that does, fervor, and Zway's swordsmanship, double engage, on use restore 1 light, on hit gain 1 protection next scene, double defensive blockade, on use draw 1 page, all offensive dice on this page, gain on clash lose, reduce incoming damage by the natural roll. Whoa, that seems really good. So if you roll a 7, you just reduce all damage you take by 7? That seems busted. And double offensive blockade. Combat start, give 1 protection to 2 random allies. On use, all offensive dice on this page gain on clash lose, reduce incoming damage by the natural roll, and on clash win with the block dice, you inflict 1 paralysis. And then triple justice retaliate. On clash win, add +3 power to the next die. On hit, give 2 protection to the ally with the highest HP. Next scene. Highest HP, really? So we're going to take quite a bit of damage this scene. However, with how Kinsey is built, we sort of want to be low health. As you can see, we're a real late bloomer with a lot of very powerful effects. Now, this was the original build that Kinsey wanted, so I know it's taken a while, but to be fair, there wasn't really a proper page for it up until now. So we're also going to prepare Tifzodia. Hate. Okay, now I think if we go for Repressed Flesh, that'll basically win most of these clashes. I'm also going to go for 9th. Yeah, and we should be absolutely fine. I'm not too terribly worried about our chances here. Counter dice doing very, very well. 9th, unfortunately, not re-rolling a single time, which is kind of bad. We get to go for Despair. We now have 2 out of 5 pieces for Tifzodia. Technically, we could just smash them all, and honestly, I think I'm going to... And then we're going to go for Angel's Light. Rah! Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that really worked out for us. I'm going to go for Greed instead of Wrath. That way we have one more turn where we can actually choose what we do. Blind Rage because, well, that's what Kinsey is going to be engulfed by. Let's see. We're going to go for I Protect My Friends. Then we go for and then we go for Great Serpent Impact. Manages to block us, all things considered. That is not bad. Double power, and Great Serpent's Impact. But he does go down to the Erosion. Now come out the big boys. Daniel. Iron Fist, untransferable, blunt dice power +1. At the start of the scene, 2 random allies receive 1 protection and stagger protection. This character receives 1 less damage and stagger damage from all sources. Your shield, concussion, and minimum offensive. Double engage, double defensive, bulwark, double for emergencies only. It is a ranged page. Single use, on use, give 1 protection to all allies next scene. On hit, inflict 1 paralysis up to twice. Double Jawbreaker, on clash win, add +3 power to the next die. And on hit, inflict 1 paralysis next scene. Justice Discipline. Dice on this page and the one clashing with it are unaffected by power gain or loss. On hit, deal 2 damage to the target, and the final die is rolled 3 times. Liam. Oh, I see what's going on here. Blunt / pierce. Gotcha. Slash dice power +1. If this character uses a combat page with only a single slash die, counter or not, the die gains +1 extra power, yields twice as many emotion points on a clash, and gains on hit destroy opponent's next die. Dang, once per scene. And there is also Mercy. Double Way of the Blade. On use, restore 1 light and draw 1 page. Double Offensive Blockade. Triple Cyclone / Gust. On hit, inflict 1 Feeble Disarm and Bind next scene. Flexible Stance. On clash lose, add Justice Duty to user's hand up to 3 times. A 4-cost page with a single 8 to 18 counter / die that gains extra dice from copies of itself and inflicts 3 bleed on hit. So it's like a To Claim Their Bones kind of deal. Single-use combat start. If Justice Duty is in hand, exhaust all of its copies, then add the dice of the discarded pages to this. And then this die and the die targeting it cannot be destroyed. On hit, inflict 3 bleed. Okay, that seems real good. Pierce dice power +1. On hit, recover 1 HP and 1 stagger resist. Also recover 2 HP every turn. Deep wound, gotcha. Double immobilize prey. On hit, inflict 2 paralysis next scene. Double fresh meat. Combat start. All offensive dice on this page gain on hit, recover 2 HP. And on hit, inflict 2 bleed. And the final die is rolled 3 times. Justice Demoralize. On clash lose, add +3 power to lash die. Up to 3 times. And then on hit, inflict 3 paralysis next scene. Yikes. That is a huge power thing. Well then, shall we begin? We're clashing with most, and then we have a decent amount of counter die, so I'm expecting us to be relatively fine. Ninth, unfortunately, letting us down. Our counter dice, unfortunately, letting us down. Crunch'em will give us an evade dice to work with. Repressed Flesh is also going to be relatively good. We don't win the clash against those evade dice, which is actually for the best. And now we get Wrath. So we become uncontrollable. We can also get Nihil! I say Nihil, I'm sorry. And then we can also immediately go for Nyx. And then I'll go Gold Rush too, why not? Now, because we are full power, I'm willing to throw the game, but I'm just gonna go for all of our AoE moves, and that's all we're gonna do. We're just gonna smash them. Okay, Gold Rush coming down. We've staggered 2 of them and killed 2 of them, staggered 2 of them. We are going to take a little bit of damage, but hopefully it's not enough to kill us. Though we are actually relatively low health, considering how risky we're playing. I want to go for Nihil, but I don't think we're going to be able to pull it off. So instead, I'm going to go for G. Then we can go for Great Serpent. And I will also go for I Protect My Friends. Okay, we do take a decent amount of damage from the ranged dice. But with us gaining double power, it's only a matter of time before we annihilate them all. Only 2 left. What will you do now? So close to losing. We're going to gain some extra strength next turn. I Protect My Friends. Then we can go for Crush 'em. And finally, Repressed Flesh. You know, if it wasn't for us doing Tiff Zodia, I think we would have lost that, actually. Now it's time for Yellow Ties and the Amanita family. We begin with Benito, non-combatant. He is immune to everything and only has 1 HP. This character cannot be staggered, is invincible, and untargetable. I bet Goku could still take him out. Gains emotion points upon using combat pages. The type of emotion points given depends on the target's team. Question mark? At the start of the scene, restore 3 light and draw 4+ current emotion level pages. At the end of the scene, discard all pages in hand. This character's speed is fixed at 1, cannot use combat pages with any dice if there are no allies left alive. This character dies at the end of the scene. Margin. At the end of the scene, restore 1 light and draw 1 page if the hand is empty. At the start of the scene, give 1 strength to a random ally and 1 feeble to a random enemy. Rest. Target restores 1 light and draws 1 page. Bread. Target restores 3 light. If starved, add Rise from the Ashes to hand and exhaust this page instead. Okay. Write that down, write that down! Target draws 3 pages. Order retreat. Give target an evade die 4 to 8. Helping hand. Have the amount of status ailments on target. Oof. Equalizer amulet. Target is not influenced by power gain or loss this scene. Inflict 5 bind to target next scene and 3 bind the scene after. Give 1 strength to target's team this scene. And inflict 2 disarm on target's team this scene. Right. And then we have the Yellow Ties Officer. At the end of the scene, a random enemy's resistance to a random damage type changes to normal for the scene, chosen from resistances that are endured or normal. Damage and stagger damage -3 when inflicting burn, paralysis, fragile, or bleed using combat pages. Apply +1 additional stack. Huh. Let's see. Double Organized Arsenal, restore 1 light, and it is purely defensive. Triple Briefcase Slam. On use, draw 1 page. On hit, inflict 1 paralysis. Next scene. Double What Could It Be Now? This die's type is randomized. On hit, inflict 2. Triple question mark. Next scene. Triple question mark. A random debuff chosen between the following: burn, bleed, fragile, and paralysis. Okay, I see. Hidden weapon. Add sharp-suited strikes to hand. Gain 3 damage up next scene. And that page is a 3-cost page, single-use combat page with 3 slash dice, 5 to 7, 5 to 8, 6 to 9. Nice. That inflicts random debuffs and can only be used next scene. And irrefusable offer. On clash lose, add +6 power to next die, and on hit, inflict 5 burn to target and 1 burn to self this scene. Alright, this is going to be a rather poor turn 1, but we're still going to go for it regardless. Okay, luckily they're all going for hidden weapons, so we're not taking as much damage as I would have thought. Impartiality is going to boost the next die that we use by +2. Okay, that actually really was not as bad as I was expecting. So now we are going to go... So you're bleeding, so that'll allow us to draw some pages. Unfortunately, that's all we've got for the moment. We can go straight to the mark to try and avoid some of that damage. And straight to the mark to try and avoid some of that damage. But this turn is not going to go nearly as well. We also miss both of our attacks, which means we are not going to be able to draw squat this turn. We're also going to take quite a bit of damage. So because this one is a Star of the City, we might have to take this one a little bit more seriously. Especially because they're kind of giving it to us right now. If we could get to the point where we're able to start putting a bunch of bleeds and stuff, that would be ideal. But we're certainly going to see. We actually have to make it there first. We're going to go for Watchful Prayer, because that is going to give us a bit of protection. We're not at emotion level 3, so Path of Conviction is not going to work. Alerted Anticipation should be fine. And then we could go Impartiality right here. Then, let's see. We can go for Mince. And we're going to take guaranteed damage. So let's go for Tail Whisk to restore some of our light. Yeah, this definitely isn't looking good, especially with the amount of paralysis we have on ourselves. Certainly not fantastic. Alerted Anticipation is going to do us quite a bit. Impartiality is also going to do a very nice job at blocking. But with the amount of paralysis we have on ourselves, it's actually making it to where survival is certainly not in our cards right now. Let me think. We technically could go for Axe. That would help us out a little bit. She does have a lot of slash dice to work with. I'm gonna go for Glitter on Sarah. Actually, we're exactly dead to burn. Oof. Very unfortunate. I also don't think that we can heal. Oof. Yeah, seems like we need to take this one a little bit more seriously, huh? Well, when in doubt, bring out the black silences. Yeah, we're probably going to be a little bit too OP this time, but meh. It'll be fine. Especially with the amount of debuffs they're putting on us, I actually think that this will still be a relatively close fight. Now, us using the combo mechanic as well as the empowered floor is certainly going to be helpful. I'm really tempted to go for performance. Yeah, you know what? We're going to go for performance because we can go for pulsation, which is basically always going to be giving us a little bit of strength, even if we have reduced strength. I'm going to go for dimensional gloves because that is a lot of attacks coming towards me. Then we can go combo for Ranga. Then over here, we can combo with wheels, which will work out relatively nicely for us. And then let's try and stack some damage on this guy. Okay, counter dice. Debatable if they're working or not. Okay, dimensional gloves. Now the counter dice is working really nicely for us. It is stopped by a block dice, which is fine. Ranga Workshop getting a lot of really decent value. Unfortunately, our block dice is completely countered, but we are able to heal up just a bit. We're not quite able to hit emotion level 2, though, which I think we're... I don't think we're capped emotion level for this one. I'm going to counter this. Then I'm going to go combo. And we're going to stop this guy. Then over on Roland, we're going to go for another combo. And then I am going to go for Old Boys to try and get a stagger. We're kind of trying to single out our targets right now. Debatable how much that's working. But we do end up getting one stagger, and we have a little bit of combo dice to work with. Unfortunately, it doesn't get us a second stagger, so we are going to take a decent amount of damage. Ugh. Yeah, decent amount of damage. Okay, we're also going to get mass debuff next turn. Roland is actually really close to going down. We are restoring a little bit of our health every hit, though, but that burn damage does not help at all. We're going to go for Urging, just to give him a little bit more effective health to work with. Now, we are going to go for Alias. We're a little bit too slow to make much work, so we're going to try and just take this guy out. And then you're going for me, so I'm going to go for Alias Workshop. Then we're going to try and stop a little bit of damage by going for Wheels right here to go for a big stagger. Okay, we do get one stagger. We're also recovering a decent amount of health. Our counter dice is able to get through all of those attacks before doing a really big attack. And then a second stagger is really going to work out for us. Although Roland does go down, which means that this fight is effectively over. Because even though Angelica is very strong, I don't think she's going to be pulling this off alone. Even with Pulsation and the potential to heal herself every time she does an attack, I don't think it's going to be quite enough. Guilt is also going to be very, very helpful. I still don't think it's quite going to be enough, though. We'll try. We'll certainly keep trying. Let's go ahead and destroy that dice, and then we'll go for Ranga to finish you off before we go for Mook Workshop, which will bring us to fight 2 out of 3. Alright, fair enough. So I am going to treat this one with the respect it deserves then, since it has beaten our two nice guy things. We'll start to bring out our real big boy stuff. Like, I'm not gonna bust out Sally and Carmen yet. I think that's a little bit too much, but they certainly do. They need more respect than what we're giving them. I'll say that. Silvio, endured, normal, endured. Okay. Blade Thesis activates for the scene when this character clashes using a block die against an offensive die. A sound cue is played upon activation. While deactivated, all slash dice change their type to blunt dice. After a successful hit with a blunt die, inflict 1 paralysis next scene, twice per scene. While activated, all blunt dice change their type to slash dice, and slash dice gain +2 power. Solidarity. If an ally dies, you lose 1 strength, but if all allies are dead, you become enfeebled. Shroomites Legacy. If this character has 5+ amatoxins in hand at the end of the scene, add a single-use overdose to hand and reduce its cost to 0, once every 3 scenes. Every 2 scenes, draw 1 amatoxin. If at the end of the scene, this character has 8+ amatoxins in hand, exhaust all amatoxins and draw 4 pages, and starts the battle with 25% less HP. Extract. On use, restore 1 light, add 1 amatoxin hand. Amatoxin, when used or discarded, gives bonus effects to melee combat pages. The bread! Sober up. On use, discard up to 5 amatoxins, draw 1 page for every 2 amatoxins discarded, and an extra page if 5 amatoxins were discarded. On hit, add 1 random amatoxin to hand. Double inject, discard a random amatoxin from hand, take 1 damage and gain 1 strength, endurance, haste, next scene, depending on the type of amatoxin discarded. Sharpen my blade. It is a block on hit, inflict 2 bleed. Overdose. Discard all amatoxins from hand, take 1 damage and gain 1 strength, endurance, haste, next scene, depending on the type of amatoxin discarded for every amatoxin discarded this way. Synthesize. On use, restore 1 light, add 2 random amatoxins to hand. On hit, add 1 random amatoxin to hand. And prove Thesis. If Blade Thesis is active, dice on this page roll their maximum value. If not, dice on this page roll their minimum value. On Clash Lose, activate Blade Thesis up to twice, and on hit, target speed is fixed at 1. Next scene. And then we have Amanita family members page. Inherited addiction. Every 2 scenes, draw 1 amatoxin if the character... Okay. Yeah, okay. I see. Double extract, double sober up. Venomous darts. On use, change this page's range to ranged. Remove all dice from this page, discard up to 4 amatoxins, and add their dice to this page. Double inject, and double synthesize. Well, since you want to be treated as a threat, allow me to repel you as one. Okay, Dipsy hits 3 out of 5. Certainly not bad. We manifest our ego. Focus Spirit, gonna give us a little bit of strength to work with next turn. Myra is gonna take a little bit of hits. That's totally fine. Yeah, we should still be fine. Upstanding Slash is gonna get through all of those dice. Absolutely no problem. Extract not doing nearly enough damage to be any sort of reasonable threat against us. I'm real... Ooh, I kind of want to go for Laughter. I know that's a weird choice. Actually, you know what? You know what? Let's do Absorption. That's not one I use very often. We'll also go for Mimicry. That way we can heal. And so comes out the red mist. We're going to go for Great Split Horizontal to try and do a lot of damage. I'm going to go for a 1-cost Spear. That should be able to finish you off. Absolutely no problem. I'm not too worried about this page, and then we can go for our final spear to counter this guy right here. Myra, however, does not have a lot of light to work with, so we are going to use Lady with the Lamp. Operation instructions, and unfortunately that's all the light that we have. So let's just see what we can do. Really big hits on absolutely everyone. You love to see it. Spear going through and getting us a stagger, which is going to be relatively nice for us. We do manage to absorb some of our health, which is going to give us strength for the rest of the act. Upstanding slash, getting us both a kill and a stagger in one fell swoop. Not to mention, we're also stacking up Gebura's passive, so she's getting real strong. Now, I'm gonna go for... Actually, you know what? Onrush and then upstanding slash will be more than enough to finish this fight. Okay, Silvio runs away. But unfortunately, he left his teammates to die. And now we're up against Benito and Silvio. So let me see. It doesn't seem like anything has changed. Actually, at the start of the act in every 3 scenes, his character uses Cauterize, which recovers 35 health and deals 35 stagger damage to self. At the start of the scene, discard all pages in hand, draw 5 pages, and set their cost to 0. He is endured to absolutely everything, and Benito is still not doing much of anything. He does, however, have double Order Retreat, double Helping Hand, double Equalizer Amulet, the Weighty Amulet, and Command. We're only going to bring Gebura, even though we will have to go against a Power Null. Here we go. So, let's manifest Ego, first and foremost. Then we can go for an upstanding slash. I think Spear might get through. And then we'll go for another upstanding slash because we're going to get all of our light back anyway, so we may as well. Now, we're not going to be affected by power gain or loss, which is a bit unfortunate, but meh. Should be fine. Spear doing a tiny bit of damage, and as soon as we get to the end of this turn, we are going to both manifest Ego as well as get Shell, which is going to make us more or less immune to stagger damage that we take. Combined with our healing, that's going to be real difficult to beat. And then I'm going to go for Cobalt Scar. We might find a situation for it. Apparently, we took enough damage to where we actually procced Claws of Savagery, though that doesn't seem to matter against Benito. I'm gonna go for a regular Spear, and then I think I'm gonna hold, because we actually didn't recover as much light as we should have. Now, he does have 3 Fragile to work with, so we are gonna manage that 8 damage, no problem. Okay, but we are actually taking quite a bit of stagger just from Gebura's passive, which is problematic. We're going to go for Spear to try and counter that. And then I think we go... Actually, Focus Spirit won't do us a whole lot, so we go Upstanding Slash instead and hope that our counter dice is enough. Okay, Upstanding Slash, getting that 8 damage. We have just about staggered ourselves. I gotta tell you, this is not how I was expecting this fight to go, actually. You know what? I actually think we lose. The fact that we're losing so much light is actually kind of insane. Now, why are we losing so much light, actually? Is that a Red Mist passive? What's actually going on there? So let's see. If the character fails to deal damage... I'm actually not 100% sure why we're losing as much light as we are. And we're also not doing quite enough damage to actually get through and prevent the stagger loss. So, actually, really unfortunate turn of events. I actually think that we are going to lose because of that. Okay, alright. Well, you know what? I tried to get flashy. And it completely bit us. Yeah, not sure what's going on with her light. I don't think I was overzealous, because we're supposed to get 6 back from going into Red Mist. But I only got 4, so something is draining our light. Is it him? Interesting. I'm not entirely sure what was draining our light, but yeah, really, really unfortunate. But we gotta do it again. Alright. I tried being cute, I tried being gimmicky, but it seems like you're gonna make me use 10% of my power. So it's time for you to die. Also, I don't know why, but the music isn't playing this time, so I guess we're just going musicless. Havoc Logic. Ooh, actually managed to full block it. Unfortunately, you cannot block the full assault that's coming to you. Guidance to the Gears is going to give us a good amount of smoke to work with. Unity Coordination is going to buff up absolutely everyone. Unity Bulwark is going to do much the same. Unity Courage is going to make us all hit plenty hard. Pack Onslaught's going to allow everyone to draw while also inflicting a good amount of smoke. Unity Expectation for some more draw and light. Unity Intercede so that we have more draw and light for ourselves. Swift Offense to both gain and give some more smoke. And our emotion level has raised. Okay, so as for what I want, I have no idea. We're gonna go road walk together on Ivanko. Then we're gonna go for the homing instinct. And that should work out relatively nicely. I'm gonna go for United March. Then I'm also gonna go for Unity Coordination. We can go for Unity Bolster to try and counter that. I could technically go for Ferocious Blades as well. I'm pretty sure it's just going to end this fight. But hey, what are you going to do? We're going to go Homing Instinct. That way we can potentially draw for everyone on the field. I'm going to go for Unity Hope. Let's see. Yeah, and that should be fine. Unity Fearlessness is going to give us all a little bit of a heal. And then we could go for United March just to try and stop a little bit more damage. Then I'm going to go for Crystal. Let's see. Do you have any really big... yeah, right here. Honestly, that'll probably be enough to end this. Go. Homing Instinct. A little bit of draw. Alias Workshop. Working very, very nicely for us. Crystal Ulterior getting rid of most of his counter dice. Ferocious Blades, unfortunately, not doing a gosh darn thing because we were inflicted with power nullification. Otherwise, that pretty much would have ended this fight by itself. However, we do have so many attacks coming through, and with the help of Smoke, I'm pretty sure that he's not going to stand too much of a chance. Goodbye. So, despite him being endured to everything and restoring health every 3 scenes, us having Smoke and also buffing each other up and giving ourselves more dice thanks to cheesed Angela's floor, overall, that's a hard one to beat. Next up is the Liu Remnants. Ex-Liu Section 1 Fixer. Starvation Adaptive Warfare. This character only restores half of max light capacity when leveling up emotion, and levels up emotion immediately rather than at the end of the scene. When this character's emotion level changes, gain 1 endurance for every 2 positive... oh boy, this is gonna be something. Gain 1 endurance for every 2 positive emotion points, and 1 strength for every 2 negative emotion points that the character had before their emotion level changed. Okay. I see. So, oh, what is that, is it Fighter That Never Retreats? The one that gives you 1 strength, 1 endurance, every time you level up? Every time your emotion goes up? I think that's what it's called. I'm not 100% on that. But it sounds like that, except on steroids. Like, it sounds ridiculously good. Unless you get, like, a weird breakpoint where, let's say at emotion level 1, you have 3 positive, 1 negative. Then instead of having 2 endurance, you'd have 1 endurance, and that's it. Like, so it's hit or miss. Still, though, actually, you know what? Pair this with the fighter that never retreats. That sounds really, really good. And it makes sense because it's a Liu thing. Survival instincts. At the end of the scene, if this character took 15 or more damage from attacks in the previous scene, gain 1 negative emotion point. Whenever this character's emotion level changes, all attacks inflict an additional stack of burn the following scene. Risky Assault. On use, gain 1 haste next scene. At emotion level 2 or less, gain 1 additional haste. Oh. On hit, inflict 1 burn. Faded Passion. On use, restore 1 light next scene and the scene after. Okay, that sounds pretty good, gotta be honest. And on hit, inflict 1 burn. Broken Flow. Costs 1 less at emotion level 3 or higher. On hit, inflict 2 burn, and on hit, inflict 1 burn. Holding the Line. Hang on, I gotta turn my fan. Ooh, it's still so hot. That's what living in basically a desert will do to you. Combat start, gain 1 protection this scene. On use, at the start of the next scene, draw all copies of Holding the Line from the deck. Oh. So that's like... I can't remember the name of it. It's I believe it's a 0 cost... You guys know what I'm talking about. There's a base game page that's a lot like it. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but every time you use it, you draw all the rest from your deck. Okay, alright, I see. On use... Okay, yeah. And on Clash Lose, gain 1 negative emotion coin. Disarming Strike. On Clash Win, destroy opponent's next die. On hit, inflict 1 disarm next scene. Adrenaline-Fueled Assault. On use, at the end of the scene, gain 1 protection next scene for every positive emotion point gained this scene. Gain 1 damage up next scene for every negative emotion point gained this scene. On hit, restore 1 light. On hit, inflict 2 burn. And on hit, inflict 1 burn. And finally, Onward. Only usable at emotion level 3 or above. The cost of this page equals the user's current light at the start of the scene. On use, set emotion level to 0. Dice on this page gain power equal to the amount of emotion levels lost. Has additional effects depending on the amount of emotion levels lost. Emotion level 2, you gain 2 strength and 2 endurance next scene. Or no, sorry, that's emotion level 3. At emotion level 3, you gain 2 strength and endurance next scene. Emotion level 4, you gain 3 strength and 1 endurance. You also draw 1 page. And at emotion level 5, you gain 2 strength, 2 endurance. If you have adaptive warfare, lose it and gain fervent passion. Interesting. Okay. And then on hit, inflict 2 burn. On hit, inflict 1 burn. And then the rest are Section 2 fixers. Together we can. At the start of each scene, if 4 or more allies are alive, gain 1 positive emotion point. And they do have a couple different pages. Dangerous Tactics. On use, gain 1 negative emotion point. On hit, inflict 1 burn. On Clash Lose, inflict 2 burn to each other. Tear up the battlefield. On use, draw 1 page. On hit, inflict 2 burn. On hit, inflict 1 burn. Scorching Earth. On use, restore 3 light. Inflict 2 burn. And inflict 1 burn. Emotion Crash. Can only be used at emotion level 3 and above. On use, reduce emotion level by 1, but draw 3 pages. On hit, inflict 2 burn to all enemies. Okay. Well... let's see what can be done here. Probing Attack, doing really good work as well as drawing us 2 pages. Multi-slash, because you already know it's my favorite card. Double Probing Attack, so we have officially drawn 4 pages. Pincer Attack, so we can do a little bit of Decay Ampule shenanigans, as well as draw a page and restore some light. Shockwave helping us out to do much the same. Decay Ampule is gonna hurt them quite a bit, provided things go well. How it's done is also going to allow us to get even more decay ampules on enemies. After all, why shouldn't we decay them while we regen? Okay, quite a bit of badness coming down. We're going to go for... Yeah, you know what? We're going to go for Shockwave, and then I want to go for Death Rattle. We can stop Risky Assault, no problem. Over here, I'm going to go for Pack Onslaught. Oh yeah, that should work out just fine. Then, I think we go for Shockwave on the same guy, just to stack some damage. Let's see. I'm going to Discern Intelligence on this guy. Question mark? What? Okay, I guess we're not gonna make him weak to anything this turn. Then I'm just gonna go for... Actually, we gotta change our plan in that case. Alright, in that case, let's have some fun. Roll the dice. And we can go for Initiate Offensive, which might have a chance to crit. Unsure why that didn't work. Although, I do have a small feeling. Recently, there was an update to base mod. And I went ahead and swapped over to that because the version of base mod that I use, the experimental version, said that it was depreciated and that it's better to just go to the base version of base mod. We're going to see how that goes. So for the moment, I am going to swap. Though, if it turns out that the game just isn't working quite right, then what I'll do is I'll probably just go to base mod experimental, since that's the one that's been working this whole time. So, you know, it will probably continue to work. I'm going to go for Pack Onslaught, so we all draw quite a bit, and then we can go for Unicorn Fencing and do quite a bit of damage. Okay, Pack Onslaught doing very, very good things for us. You know what? I will take a neutral reaction to that. We all gain a little bit of strength. Initiate Offensive is going to do quite a bit of damage, though they're also going to retaliate with a lot of damage of their own. Pack Onslaught, more or less being a fully neutral attack. Okay, another Pack Onslaught that we were able to draw no problem. Ooh, Shockwave not working for us at all. It is still going to give us the light and the draw, but it's not going to be as useful as I would have wanted. Now, we're going to go for Laughing Powder because it is quite simply the best for how we have this floor set up. I think I'm going to go full Greed here, and I'm going to go double Death Rattle. That way we gain a lot of strength. I'm going to... Who has a really dangerous... Ooh, you know what? Right here, Emotion Crash. There we go. Then I'm going to go for a Shockwave to stop that. That should be relatively easy for us. Pincer movement will more or less be guaranteed. I can't go for second one, so what I'll do is I will just go for a regular Shockwave. Over here, we're going to use some protection on Mr. Facey Randy. I do kind of want to draw. I'm going to go for a Decay Ampule right here, because he's not going to be able to block that. And then we could go for Have This, and that might win. Let me see. Then we could go for Frozen Bullet. That should get through absolutely no problem. And we'll also follow it up with a Slash. Okay, Death Rattle buffing some of us up. We love to see it. 32 damage being done, so I believe that is going to be 2 pages drawn. Death Rattle ensuring that we all have quite a bit of strength to work with, and we do double dodge just as I had anticipated. K-Corp Decay Ampule does end up going down. Have This is going to get us a stagger. Okay, we do take a little bit of damage. Nothing that we can't deal with. I'm going to re-roll and go for Elation on Sam, because we want Sam to be landing a lot of these Decay Ampules, and she's the main one who does it. So let's do a Decay Ampule on this poor lad over here, as well as a Pack Onslaught. Then we can go for Vigor and restore some of Netzak's Stagger Resist. We should be able to get through that, no problem. And then I'm also going to go for a Pincer Attack. Then we could go for a regular Shockwave. There is a chance that won't work. However, we are going to hit him very, very hard. That should be enough to take him down. And then Unicorn Fencing. That should be this phase. Ow. Good Shockwave, getting us a Stagger. Unicorn Fencing not working out for us pretty much at all, actually. But with the power of the fading glimmers, we take out one of their people, followed by taking out a second. A third goes down, and there is only one left, who I'm pretty sure we could just do some of this to. Next up, Yi Jun. Starvation Adaptive Warfare, we've seen that. Claws of the Phoenix. When inflicting burn using combat pages, inflict +1 additional stack, +1 offensive dice power against targets with burn, add emotion level 4, add Rise from the Ashes to hand. Burning Spirit. At the end of the scene, restore 1 light for every 5 stacks of burn inflicted that scene, up to 2. Double Faded Passion, Broken Flow, Holding the Line, Scorched Earth, Disarming Strikes. On Clash 1, destroy the opponent's next die. Okay, so we have seen that one as well. Raging Dragon Inferno. On hit, inflict 6 burn, and Raging Storm Hope. Single use cannot be redirected. This page is used against all enemies. On hit, inflict 3 burn. Hunan! Inflamed Mind. At the start of each scene, gain 1 strength for every 2 clashes 1, and inflict 3 burn to self. Bottle It Up. This page can target allies. On use, purge all stacks of burn from self and target. Gain stacks of Inner Flame equal to burn purge this way. On Clash Lose, add a copy of Let It All Out to hand. We then have Mutually Assured Ignition. Combat start, all of this character's dice gain. On Clash Lose, inflict 1 burn to each other this scene. On Clash Lose, draw 1 page. On hit, inflict 1 plus personal emotion level amount of burn to each other. And onward. We then have Bruce, who has Scorched Body. Start each act with 5 burn protection. Gain 1 burn protection upon winning a clash. Let's see. Flaming Burden. On Clash Win, recycle this die with a max of 1. Inflict 2 burn to target and self. Repentance. This page's cost is reduced by 1 for every 3 stacks of burn on self. Combat start, give burn protection to all allies equal to half of user's burn protection. On Clash Win, inflict 2 burn. Inflict 2 burn personal emotion level times. Okay, I see. So if you're emotion level 5, you inflict 2 burn 5 times. Ouch. And on hit, trigger burn on self and target. Interesting. And then he also has onwards. Well then, it's time to face the fire. Raging Storm Hope gets countered on its first go, but it is still going to hit all of the rest of us. Okay, Shockwave doing pretty good. Ow. We do take a little bit of damage as well as be burnt. That's fine. We should be able to get through it no problem. Because of all of our regen, we are relatively healthy despite the damage that they're trying to do to us. The fact that that didn't win is actually kind of unfortunate. I think that makes it so we don't get the extra strength and whatnot. We are applying a little bit of Decay Ampules to our enemies. Faded Passion doing literally 0 damage, though we do more to ourselves with Pack Onslaught. Okay, Decay Ampule, unfortunately, is going to be fully blocked. Really unfortunate. Not the end of the world, though. Oh, sorry about that. Um, really tempted to go Token of Friendship because we're taking so much burn damage. You know what? I think I'm actually going to. Yeah, why not? We'll do Token of Friendship. I will also go for Da Capo. Whew. Yeah, all of us are looking real healthy. I'm immediately going to open up with Da Capo. Even though I would like to go for Grand Challenge, I don't think it'll be too terribly needed right now. You only have 2 dice, so we're going to try and counter you. Let's see, who else only has 2 dice? You do, so we're going to counter you. Can't go for anything else. Let's recover some health on Kura, because he's currently the most injured. How it's done should get through no problem, especially because we do have the extra +1 dice power. Then I think I'm going to stack all of our moves on you. Let's see. We could just go for some AoE, and I think I'm going to. I would like to discern intelligence. Unfortunately, I don't think that's really going to work at the moment. We'll go with multi-slash because there's absolutely no world we win it anyway, so we may as well just get a little bit of value and potentially block one of the dice. I'm going to go for double pincer attack. Then we're going to come over here. I am going to use K-Corp Ampule. We're going to use activate HP bullet. And then, let's see, who do we want to stack our damage on? I'm gonna go for you, Mr. High and Mighty over here, and try and get some Decay Ampules going. Now, it's time! Aha! It's time for the movements! Okay, it hit just about all of them. We do manage to get a stagger. He is definitely going down. Tail Whisk doing a good amount of damage, almost getting us another stagger. And because of the Decay Ampule, the Section 1 Fixer is guaranteed to go down next scene. Activate HP Bullet just so we have a bunch to work with. We're going to get a little bit more Decay Ampules on him. Actually, 2 of them are dead this turn, though we do kill 1 before the Decay Ampule goes off. How it's done is going to be completely countered, unfortunately for us. We get another really good target taken out, and Hunan goes down to the Decay Ampules. I'm gonna go, you know what? Let's go for Teardrop on Sam. That way she has a much better chance to actually land a lot of her attacks. Which I would say is probably Sam's biggest weakness, is that her dice don't roll very high. So she kind of needs the extra power, which to be fair, with Elation and Teardrop, an extra +2 to everything is pretty good. We could go Faint Aroma. You know what? Faint Aroma, hear me out. And then we get a stagger. Let's see. Can we... I'm trying to hit his empty dice. Can't go for no trespassing, but what we can do is we can go for a grand challenge, and we can finish it off with the Fading Glimmers. I think this should be enough damage, but just in case, I think I'll apply a little bit of decay. Okay, it seems like Heart of the Phoenix has gone off, so unfortunately we don't get the stagger damage on her. Grand Challenge is also immediately countered the moment it tries to go off, but because she no longer has any counter dice, we are going to be able to apply a bit of decay, though she is going to get some damage on us first. So what you got? Risen Phoenix. This character's offensive dice gain on hit inflict 1 burn 1 times, and defensive dice gain on clash win inflict 1 burn 1 times. Okay. Well, I gotta be honest. I think you're done. Yeah, we immediately get the stagger, and we take her out. And there goes the remaining remnants of Liu. The return of the index. Respiration, we already know what that does. Grace of the Prescript. Guided Assault, the types of offensive dice on the last combat page used each scene, change to the type of the first offensive dice on that page. Okay. Prescript Loophole. That cat face is, that's something. That does look like something. On use, draw 1 page, add unlock 3 to hand, and exhaust this page. Wow, that seems real good. Multi-slash, we know it, we love it. To where the prescript belongs, execute, and will of the prescript. I mean, this just looks like one of my decks. Well then, since you must follow your code, I must follow mine. By the way, they definitely do have the regular index thing going on where they only target one person, but they can still be redirected, so it's definitely not the end of the world, but it does make it a little bit harder. Okay, we are doing a lot of damage since these are just little grunts. Unsettling Desire does absolutely nothing for us, which is really upsetting, but not the end of the world. Undertake Prescript does not quite work out for us, however, Blitz is going to be able to heal us up a decent amount. Token of Friendship also stacking good amount of health beyond, getting a nice stagger in there, and 2 of them are unable to take an action because Bina locked them down. It might be a little bit OP, but I'm just going to go for sinking. You might call it unfair, I call it fun. Okay, we gain 4 extra power, and then I'm also going to go Blood of Mercy. That way we can heal up a little bit. We could go for Clash of Blades right here. Try and counter that, though we are not quite fast enough. I'm going to go for a Shockwave just to stack some damage. Who has... You do. In case you don't die, I'm going to go for you. And then I'm also going to go... Pow, so, die, slam, and then bada boom, bada bing, that's our turn. Sink. Pretty good amount of damage being done, fairly reasonable if you ask me. We're also applying a bit of fairy and pulling out our Bina patented gun at the end of our attack. Clash of Blades, not doing a whole lot of damage, but it also hasn't had time to stack up. Uncontrollable pulsation. Giving us quite a bit of healing. Season the meat. That way we try and get our recipe going. It is at level 1, so it's definitely getting a little bit of usage. I'm going to go for a small... Actually, you know what? Hang on. Oh, I'm going to go for the tier 5 where everybody has a page. So I think what I'm going to do, we're going to go Weight of Sin. You know what? Weight of Sin on Azazel. Yeah. That's worked out really well. Marcos Jr. is currently the only one who has not leveled up with the motion level. Who's the lowest? Sombor, you should be able to take this out, no problem. Let's see how this turn goes. We do want to farm up a little bit of emotion level because there is a part 2 to this fight, which I'm suspecting is going to be much harder. Okay, good amount of damage with tackle mount being done. We also are guaranteed to take out 2 of them, and our emotion level goes up just a tad bit more. Now, I want Azazel to finish this off. Go ahead and go for Binding Chains, Multi-Slash, and just in case he's still alive, finish him off with G-G-G-G. Well, he did actually survive all the attacks, so it's a good thing I went for G-G-G-G-G. Evan, locked potential, we know it, we love it. Thrill of Battle. Recover 10% of max HP every time the character uses 4 unique combat pages. If this character is in Blade Unlocked, gain 1 shield at the start of each scene. I'm gonna imagine that blocks the first attack you take per turn, just a guess. Juggernaut, untransferable. This character takes 5% less damage for every combat page targeting them, up to 25%. Wow, that sounds amazing. If this character is targeted by at least 5 pages, add 3 counter dice, block 4 to 8 to counter Q, has a special page that causes all enemies to prioritize targeting this character next scene. At emotion level 3 or above, at combat start, the ally with the least HP has all of the pages targeting them redirected onto this character. Okay, so you gotta go as soon as possible. Gotcha. Oh, excuse me, sorry. My nose is starting to get really stuffy. I think there might be allergies going around. I apologize. I will edit out all of my nasty nose sounds. Well, as much as I can, at least. I'm bound to miss a couple. This is prescript loophole. We saw it. We love it. Take damage equal to 7% of current HP. Draw 1 page and restore 3 light. Wow. Blood Wedding. Combat start, all of this character's dice gain on hit, recover 2 HP. If singleton, recover 1 additional HP this scene. Oh, mwah! Now that is a good singleton page right there. Fulfill duty. Draw 1 page. If singleton, reduce the cost of a random page in hand whose cost is 1 or higher by 1 until used. Body blow. Enmity. On use, all dice on this page gain +1 power for every 7 HP missing, with a cap of 3. On hit, inflict 1 feeble. On hit, inflict 1 paralysis. And enmity. Targeted page is forced to clash with this page regardless of speed. City's Volition. Gain 1 strength for every 15 HP missing. 6 to 9 twice. Nice. Cleave. Enmity. On use, deal 10% more damage for every 7 HP missing, up to 50%, and on hit, draw 1 page. Onslaught. Deal 10% more damage for every 7 HP missing. Triple 6 to 9. Nice. Deal 3 damage to target. And Fortification. Only usable in the Blade unlocked state. This page prompts no action because it has no non-counter dice. Invalidate target's offensive dice up to 3 times. Oh. Speaking of O, it's Ophelia. Grace of the Prescript, Unladen Blade. When using a combat page with an effect involving haste, all dice on the page gain +1 power. Rapid Response. The first combat page used by this character each scene gains on use, gain 2 haste this scene. If this character is in a Blade unlocked state, the additional effect instead becomes on use, gain 4 haste this scene. At the end of the scene, restore 1 light and draw 1 page if this character has no haste. Follow the Path. After use, if singleton, restore 1 light for every 2 haste on self with a max of 2. Overtake. On use, gain 1 haste next scene. If speed is 8 or higher, restore 1 light and draw 1 page. On hit, restore 1 light. Scabbard Strike. On use, restore 1 light. If singleton, gain 1 haste next scene. On use, gain 1 haste next scene. If singleton, gain 1 additional haste next scene. If speed is 8 or higher, all dice on this page gain +5 power. And the final, let's see. On hit, if in the Blade unlocked state, spend 2 haste to inflict 2 erosion next scene. Or no, spend 2 haste to inflict 1 erosion. My apologies. Yeah, anything that does erosion, very scary, very powerful. Momentum. On play, gain 1 haste next scene for every 2 unique combat pages in deck. Rounded up to 7. Fulfill duty. Unused, draw 1 page. Okay, we already know what that does. Eviscerate. If speed is 8 or higher, all dice on this page gain +2 power. On hit, spend 1 haste to recycle this die. If this die has been recycled at least once, inflict 1 erosion next scene. Submission of the Will. On use, if speed is 8 or higher, all dice on this page gain +2 power. On hit, if in the Blade unlocked state, spend 2 haste to inflict 1 erosion up to twice. On hit, if user has 6 plus haste, inflict 2 erosion this scene. And Levigation, only usable in the Blade unlocked state. If speed is lower than 8, destroy the first die on this page. On clash win, destroy all of the opponent's dice. On clash lose, destroy the next die on this page. And on hit, spend 1 haste to roll this die twice. Now, one minor complaint I am going to say, I kind of wish that there was a little bit more variety in the picture. Because, you know, for example, like me, I usually go by what the picture is rather than the actual name. when I'm in the middle of a fight. So when they're all just, like, the same picture, but they all have different abilities, you know, that's just minor complaint, I know, but still. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Speed P. Gain an additional speed die for every other ally in the Blade Unlock state. Guided Assault. Okay. And Skim Prescript. Prescript Loophole, Bloodwetting Multi-Slash, Fulfill Duty, Execute, Binding Chains, Cleave, and the Prescript's Command. Combat start. If Singleton, give 2x dice power to all Singleton allies. The type is determined by the current offensive dice, boosted by the passive ability, Grace of the Prescript. Well then, is it really that time again? We open up with a shockwave just to try and protect ourselves a little bit, because chances are they're going to be doing a lot of damage. And Shockwave does quite a good job at that. We go for Fairy on Ophelia just to try and keep her down. Unsettling Desire's counter dice unfortunately does not work. However, the Tackle Mount is going to help us get our recipe along, and Will of the Prescript is going to do a good amount of damage. Token of Friendship, unfortunately not going to work at all for us, but Binding Chains are Inner Evisceration, getting a nice 11 damage. Pack Onslaught so that we're all going to be able to draw, not to mention we do get a little bit of health regen because of that. Multi-Slash, because it is buffed into oblivion on Azazel. Unsettling Desire, that way we draw quite a bit of our pages. Ling Bloody Wings, because it does everything that we need it to. Let's see. I'm gonna re-roll. I kinda want to go for Watchful Eyes. I know that's not the best, but I kinda want to do it. I mean, yeah, you know what? Really dumb idea. Really, really dumb. However, we're gonna go Watchful Eyes on Bina. Okay. So let's see. Just keep track. Azazel has 1, Bina has 2. So 3, 4, and 5 are gonna have to be spread among Yukari, Sambor, and Marcos Jr. Okay, let's see. You're gonna be doing quite a bit of damage to us, so let's gain some extra strength. I'm gonna go for Pack Onslaught. That should be relatively nice for us. Then, this will restore quite a bit of our light. We try and counter that. I'm gonna go for Blitz, though I think it's gonna get redirected. Then, we can go for Lean Bloody Wings to try and change that one. Let's go Pillar on Ophelia. And then let's go second Pillar on Ellis. Then we can go Clash of Blades to try and stop here. I'm gonna go Pierce Through to try and stop you. Let's see. Now, I don't want to use too many combat pages because they are going to be redirected and completely nullified. But what we could do, if we go Be On, and then Tail Whisk, right? Then we do Clash of Blades. Because Sambor's decently fast, he might actually go through a couple of those counter dice. Let's find out. Pillar getting us a lot of us of value, and then we pull out our Bina patented gun. Such a silly passive, but you know what? It works. Pack Onslaught is going to recover a little bit of health, though I think we end up losing more than we gain. However, Uncontrollable Pulsation doing what needs to be done as we take out the first enemy. Okay, Clash of Blades getting a lot of damage done. He is currently staggered, so it's possible he's not even going to redirect our pages. Pierce Through also being one of the best modded pages that we have access to, provided we have a lot of slash power. Blood of Mercy, allowing us to heal back up, basically to full. I'm gonna go for Judgment. I know this is not a good idea. However, Yukari. Then we're gonna go for Lamp. The Lamp. Okay, now, Everlasting Desire, I believe we can use for free this turn. Actually, you know what? What if we went for Lamp as well? Ooh. That seems real good. Let's see, Sombor also needs to raise his emotion level quite a bit. I'm going to go for Tackle Mount, just to guaranteed raise it. And then we'll go for Taste Test, which will then allow us to do Pow, Sigh, Slam. Then, let me see. Let's do Double Fairy on Bina. That way her emotion level is able to go up a little bit. Lamp. What's the matter? Your prescript not helping you out anymore? Well, I wouldn't worry about that. All you need to fear now is the Twilight Forest. We do get a kill, as well as a stagger fulfill duty going down, but she takes a little bit of damage because of the fairy, and we get quite a bit of recipe value. But unfortunately for Ophelia, you're done. Not bad, not bad. So, with the index, at least in the base game, the best thing you can do is just focus them down hard and fast. And it turns out, it works on their return as well. It's now time for the Vermilion Dragon. The Vermilion Dragon. Upon a successful hit, inflict 1 burn for each emotion level this character has, up to 3. The fighter that went beyond. When the emotion level rises, gain 1 strength and 1 endurance. At emotion level 3 and above, gain 1 strength and endurance each scene. At emotion level 5 and above, gain 2 strength and endurance each scene instead. This passive cannot give more than 2 strength and endurance in 1 scene. Furious Fire Rending the Skies. At the start of the scene, 2 random combat pages in hand gain the following effect. While this page is being used, inflict twice as much burn with combat page abilities. Triple Light the Fires. Combat start when inflicting burn using combat pages as seen, inflict 1 additional stack, add a copy of Burning Blitz to hand. On hit, inflict 1 burn. Double Frontal Onslaught. If 3 or more burn was inflicted with this page, reduce the cost of all frontal onslaughts by 1. On use, draw 1 page. And then on Clash Win, restore 1 light, and on hit, inflict 1 burn, up to 2 times. Double Recover Spirit. On Clash, recover light equal to stacks of target's burn, divided by 6, rounded down. Unattacked, draw pages equal to stacks of target's burn, divided by 6, rounded down. Double Dragon Strike. On use, offensive dice on this page deal bonus stagger damage equivalent to half of target's burn. That would work really well with Zhao's passive, where when they're staggered, they spread their burn. The potential to be enormous. Dice on this page deal no physical or stagger damage. Oh, I see. On hit, inflict 0 burn 6 times, inflict 0 burn 7 times, and inflict 0 burn 9 times. So, this page, with the passive, at emotion level 3, 3 burn 6 times, 3 burns 7 times, and 3 burn 9 times. Then, if you get a lucky proc, Furious Fire Rending the Skies doubles it, which makes it 6 burn 6 times. Wow. Okay. That's scary. That's real frightening. Let's go.
I'm going to beat you to death.
Oh, yeah? Well, I didn't see anything about fire immunity, so-called Vermilion Dragon. So let's see how you handle the heat. After, of course, the deluge of brachial quietuses, Bee Sting, just so we get a little bit of spores. We immediately get Malkuth punched in the face. Icebreaker is going to get us a little bit of bind value. Violent Flame, unfortunately not going to do a whole lot of burn, but Frozen Traces is not only going to burn, but it's also going to apply a decent amount of bind. Now, let's see what you got. Burning Blitz. I don't seem to remember that ability. This page exhausts when discarded or used. This page's cost is lowered by the number of other Burning Blitz in hand. Combat start, discard up to 2 other copies of Burning Blitz and add their dice to this page. Oh, it's the slashy one, but even better. Let's see. What do we got? Chaos. Well, if only we had Dave here. Now, you know what? Let's go for some chaos on Malkuth. Why not? She's chaotic. Yeah, you know what? You can hurt yourself a little bit. That'll be fine. We're gonna go a double in the name of justice. That way we can get a little bit of healing. I'm gonna... Oh, I can't use that up yet. We'll try to block that, and then we can't really do much else on Kyle at the moment, which is unfortunate. Let's see, 1,000 Miles Glacier will absolutely land, not even a question. We're going to go for Frozen Traces, that way any bind that we put on is going to stay. Quick Meal, because it has the very real potential to help us out, and then we'll restore a lot of our light. Alright, so unfortunately, he did have a single counter dice, which is our biggest counter. Quick Meal is going to heal us up a little bit, as well as doing a good amount of damage. Fiery Waltz is not going to work even remotely, but we are going to be able to restore a good amount of health. Frozen Traces, that way he keeps all of his bind. Scorching Light is going to give us a bunch of our light back. Ooh, and Kyle does end up getting staggered. Okay, let's think. I'm going to go for Ashes on Kilana. Okay, so even though we have our ego going, it doesn't matter because we're currently staggered. You know what? Hang on. What do we have? So we have Abundance. I mean, then it'll be nice, and then Insanity. I don't know if we'll actually fully get to use it, but tell you what, we'll go... let's stop this one. And then let's go Magic Barrier, just to try and stop a little bit of damage that's coming down. I'm gonna go Icebreaker and just tank the damage. Then we can go Shockwave. Then Malkuth pretty much has free reign. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Scorching Light. Acceleration Protocol. Okay, Clash is not quite working out for us. We also do get a massive right hook to the face, but we do recycle our dice 3 times, as well as we pretty much go immediately back to full. Okay.
I made a deal with the devil.
That's what happens when you gamble. Okay, Kyle does go down to a 41 damage burn effect. Terrifying. Okay, let's reroll. There we go. Display of Affection. And let's do that on Gregory Dallas. Because Malkuth is also going to get the benefit of that. So we want to try and make as much use out of that as we can. Now, the unfortunate thing is, if Kyle had made it to emotion level, I think it's 4, he would have been immune to burn damage. So kind of unfortunate he went down so early. We could go Lady in the Lamp. You know what? We're going to go for Magic Missile. Then we're going to go for a Shockwave right here. We should be able to take that out. No problem. In the name of justice. Then I'm going to go for a free 1,000. And then we go for Prosenimune. Okay, Magic Missile does end up going through, giving us a little bit of a heal. We also get some Spores, which is going to do a little bit of burn and bind. First Shockwave going through, and then we dodge one of the dice. That's not terrible. Some more bind for next turn before we take a nasty right hook to the face. Luckily, we are going to be able to heal it up just a bit. And Prosenimune is going to inflict some good burn on Chun. Let's see. I think we go Worker Bee on Kelana, and then we go Wing Beat. That way we're able to heal. Okay, now we should also have the... Yes, we do. So let's boost offense. Oh, don't... You know what? Let's boost both. Let's boost both. Yeah. Can't go for Wing Beat, but we can go for Quick Meal. Hopefully that works for us, because that is going to hurt. Should be able to take that out, no problem. You both... Actually, you no longer have a mark. Let's go Passion. And Imperfection. Yeah, why not? Okay, now... So what is this? You know what? Wing Beat? Easy. We win it every time. Every single time we win that. Then we're going to clash right here. I'm going to go for our 1-cost Shockwave. Gregory Adelis is going to go for an Icebreaker right here. And then double Actually, single Magic Missile and Shockwave. That's game. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's working pretty good for us. Wing Beat. Pretty good amount of healing. Balls. Just think, the Vermilion Dragon. The last words of the Vermilion Dragon would be balls. Alrighty. Well, with that is going to do it for all the receptions of the Aftermath collection. Wait. Yes. Okay, I got the name right. First try. Nice. So, it is still a work in progress mod. The last time it was updated was March 14th, I believe. So, it is still getting worked on. Obviously, it's not done. There are some placeholder things. But, overall, it seems really promising. A lot of the effects fit in with the characters that they're representing. For example, Liu being all about fervent emotions and the fire within and, you know, all that. That makes a lot of sense. The Index, it's all about being singleton, sort of getting around the prescripts and still following them. I like it. I think they're really good ideas. But there is still a little bit of work in progress in there. So, you know, it is what it is, as they say. But overall, I thought it was pretty good. So thank you guys so much for watching. Now, one thing I do want to bring up. There's a bit of a up-and-comer, we'll say, as far as the modding scene goes. And I've mentioned them maybe once. Primarily, I mentioned them in the Discord. But what they do is they make hyperdimension... What are they called? Nuggets? The librarians. I forget what they're called. The nuggets? The carrots? Dude, it's been so long since I've actually, like, referred to them as their nickname that I don't remember what it is. You would think on part 85 I would know that by now, but apparently not. So, if we get to the point to where there is no longer any new mods to play, which honestly, there's been times where I felt is kind of close, but of course stuff is still coming out. But if it ever gets to the point where there's a super low point, what I'm going to do is we are going to do a hyperdimension themed replay through of the base game, but we're going to have the randomizer ego page on so that enemies get random ego pages whenever, and we also get random ego pages, and I'm also going to limit myself to never re-roll. We're just going to get what we get and don't throw a fit. Unless, of course, the same ego page rolls 3 times, in which case, you know, maybe I'll re-roll that, but that's kind of an exception. Like, if we get 3 ashes, well, then I'll re-roll that. But I think that's kind of what I want to do. So if we do ever hit a low point, I think we are going to do a hyperdimension themed hard mode run of the base game with like a randomizer effect to it. it'll either be really fun or it'll be completely miserable for me, which means it'll be a lot of fun for you. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.